The light shines in the darkness. Our mission is to make a difference in the communities we serve, whether it is helping our schools, local churches, charities, or providing you with an unparalleled experience. When you walk through our doors, you will be treated like family and find our process extremely quick, easy, and transparent. We are out to prove that Daystar isn't a typical dealership, but a true testament to our name. Driven by faith.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Believeland Prep interview. I'm your host, Kevin Sleds. Joe's not with me tonight. He had a prior commitment, so I am flying solo. But tonight with me, my special guest is the Ravenna Ravens head coach, Joe Callihan. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Appreciate you coming on. So let's just start off. I know it's your first year as a head coach of Ravenna. Kind of take us through the journey of becoming the head coach and what led you there.
Yeah. So my background, starts 20 minutes from here in Ravenna. I went to Magor High School, graduated from there in 2013 after playing for Matt Adorney and Cat Murphy at Magor. Go up to John Carroll and play 4 years at for Tom Arth, where we were pretty successful there. We were 40-8. Which was the winningest class in program history at the time. I don't know if that's still the case, but I've been lucky to be surrounded by a lot of great people. At John Carroll, I got my undergrad in business management, human resources, and got offered a job my junior year, way before I graduated after I did an internship. And I was like, sweet, I'm good to go. I was making cold calls. We're doing some recruiting for mid-level management for manufacturing companies. Didn't like that. So my coach, John Carroll, Tom Arth, became the head coach at Akron. And I was in the process of looking to go back to school, wanted to get into special education, went and got my degree at Akron, or my master's degree from Akron in special education. While I was at Akron, obviously I was working for Tom and a guy by the name of Scott Aligo, who was their director of player personnel, who ran their recruiting department and worked doing advanced scouting, helped on overnight visits, watching a ton of film of high school kids, and to see if, that was somebody that, we'd want a part of the program there. I graduated from Akron, during COVID. So that was a crazy time for everybody. But then I get to Ravenna, or I'm doing the interviews, and I get hired at Ravenna by our principal at the time, Beth Coleman, Brian Duncan's assistant principal, and Dennis Honkla was the superintendent that hired me as a teacher. And I had reached out to Jim Lenardi, who was the head football coach at the time, as well as athletic director. And he offered me a chance to be on his staff, and where I became the special teams coordinator over the past couple of years. And then this past year, Jim decided to step down as the head football coach. He's still the athletic director, which has been incredibly helpful. I mean, I don't even know how to put into words, what he's meant for me. And kind of the guidance and, positive influence he's been on how to handle different things, or, just, being in the shoes, or being in the role that I'm in. Jim did it for 20 years as the head coach. He's been in Ravenna for the past 26 years, so he gets it. So it's incredibly beneficial, and I feel incredibly blessed to have somebody who who's in my corner and wants me to be successful and wants me to, break his wins record and things like that. And then, when he stepped down, I was interested because I fell in love with the kids here at Ravenna and all the incredible things that I think we can do here. So I threw my hat in the ring for that in the administration. I feel incredibly lucky that they decided to go with me as the new leader of the program. And right now we opened up against Lorraine, ended up losing 16-8. And I'm incredibly proud of our leaders in the program and our kids from top to bottom. From the standpoint of, that was one of the tougher things I've had to do in my life is, seeing all the hard work and everything that they put in, leading up to the season, once I got the job and all the, things I was asking them to do, to see that look in their eyes. I feel like it was the same look I was giving back to them, just like there's a lot of them that it seemed like they thought they let me down. But I felt, after that game, I was so upset with myself that we as a staff, myself, being the main culprit, didn't do more to put our kids in better positions to win that game. And again, I give a ton of credit to our kids. After that, they had, great weeks of practice, stacked good days on top of good days. We got banged up early and lost some guys to some pretty, major injuries that, could derail a lot of team seasons. And our guys have risen to the occasion, kind of next man up. And I am so incredibly proud of them for showing the heart and the fight and willingness to, hop in, do different things. I mean, I've been incredibly lucky to have the group of kids that we have, come out, show up and do what I'm asking them to do. And a lot of them, maybe playing different spots, but then somebody gets hurt and they, step up and, take care of business.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you prepare your kids after a tough loss, especially like that first game? How do you kind of keep their spirits up and get them ready for the next week?
Yeah, it was one of those. And again, in context, we lost the first drive of the game. We lost our starting tailback and fullback to, like I said, some pretty serious injuries. And one of the things that I've incorporated here is every week on Tuesdays, part of our schedule, we do study tables. Mondays, have a speaker come in on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we do yoga and have a yoga instructor come in and do that to help with, flexibility, pliability, all that good stuff. And then Thursday we have study tables again. But that after that first week, we had a guy by the name of Kenny Haynes, who works for an organization called Children's Advantage, come in. Kenny's like an anger management, conflict resolution specialist. He does incredible work. He came in and talked to our guys about, the whys in life. Like, why do you do what you do? And it was incredible to see the way our kids responded to that. Sometimes I think in high school sports, you get kids that, come out and want and need to be part of something, and that's great. But, the thought process that Kenny challenged our kids to kind of go through and look at, why are you playing football? Why are you coming out in the summer and going through all this hard work? Like, what is the motivation? Is it mom at home? Is it, want to get out of a bad situation? What is it? And he's actually going to come back and talk to him again later on in the season. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. But, from there, that gave us kind of after seeing how the kids responded to that talk, it was a no-brainer to kind of challenge them and say, hey, guys, we all know the situation that we're in. We've got guys that are down that may not be back. That's why I am in coaching is to, make a positive influence on their lives. And, I know they give up anything to be in your guys' shoes. So let's go out and play for them. And if it's not them for you, that's fine. But go play, go make your mom proud, go make your dad proud, go make your little brother proud or sister or whoever. Again, I don't know how to describe it other than saying you had to be there, but to see how the emotion, the enthusiasm, that killer instinct, that switch flipped. And when we went out and took the field against Howland, it was a different team coming out week 2 against Howland, and week 1 against Lorraine. And like I said, that's my fault for not getting them to that point sooner. But it was awesome to see kind of how they responded to that. Last week, was a big rivalry game for us. Kent versus Ravenna in Portage County. That's, one of probably the biggest rivalry. I'm trying to go through my head and I can't think of any other rivalry in Portage County that kind of draws the attention of the county like Kent Ravenna does.
Right.
So our kids always get up for that game. And, it was really, really cool to see how they got up and kind of continued rolling from the momentum from Howland to Kent. And, hopefully we got a game tomorrow against Cloverleaf. Cloverleaf is a really, really good football team. Very physical, a lot bigger than us. And they've been, the only game they lost was the Buckeye, and Buckeye is 3-0 and scored on last minute drive. And then they went for 2. So Cloverleaf really should be 3-0 coming into this week. So we've got another big game. Starts our league play. And we've preached all off season, at least since I've been here, is we got to start fast. And part of starting fast, we took care of business to be 2-1 in our non-conference games, and an okay start to the season. But now it starts league play, and that brings a whole new element to the intensity and focusing on the little details that we need to really hone in on to be successful the rest of the year.
Very cool indeed. So you mentioned you had the privilege of playing for a couple of great coaches, and Coach Adorni at Mogador and Coach Arth at John Carroll. What have you taken from them to kind of influence you now as a head coach?
That's a great question. I think it's, it's not just them. They're great coaches and have, obviously shaped me into the person that I am today. I guess from Coach Adorni, Mogador is a very, very proud, small little town that, football is king. So that's obviously shaped my interests and passions in life. I remember that's since the time I think I could walk, that's what I wanted to do, was play football. And obviously I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if that didn't, stay the course. And going to John Carroll, phenomenal school, got a phenomenal education, wouldn't trade any of those experiences for anything. But the attention to detail and how precise everything ran, from practice to our meetings to everything, opened my eyes. And not that we didn't try to, run efficiently or things at Mogador, but, it's different at the next level. And that's one thing that we try to preach to our kids is, hey, high school football is one of the greatest things in the world. But if you really want to go play at the next level, it's it's like a job. It's a full-time job that you're taking on. And, you know, they account for almost every minute of practice time that they're allowed to have, and meeting times, and everything else. And so, you know, the attention to detail is probably the first thing that comes to mind, but also Coach Arth, who his background, for those of you that don't know, he's a St. Ignatius guy, went and played at John Carroll, had an opportunity to go be a backup in the pros for Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and do a lot of incredible things there. But the humility and respect that he kind of elevated in the program when I was there was incredible. And I think that kind of mindset of, you know, doing what's right by other people has played a huge role in, you know, what I try to value and do here. You know, I think that's been a huge influence on me. And then the other one, again, I didn't play for him, but I coached under him, you know, Jim Lenardi. He's a special person to be in one spot for 26 years, 20 years of that, leading the program. You know, he'd give you the shirt off his back to help out, you know, anybody. And he's, you know, to say goes above and beyond to help the kids in Ravenna is an understatement. He's been phenomenal for the kids. He's been very helpful as a mentor and as a friend, you know, helping prepare me and presenting me with different challenges to help me get to where I am. So those three individuals, I would say, have definitely all played huge, inspirational, you know, coaches in my life to kind of help me kind of shape my coaching philosophy and what we're trying to do here off of, you know, the experiences that I've had, you know, working with and playing for those guys.
So through your first three games, you've had guys like Mikael Williams at quarterback and Pavella Henderson on both sides of the ball making plays for you. There any other guys we should look out for the rest of the season who you think might step up?
Yeah. So first two guys I'll give you, they're not going to get a lot of glory, but are two linemen, two leaders up front for us offensively, defensively, and Dean Baker and David Davis. Dean's a 3-year starter at left tackle as a junior for us. Incredible kid, incredible work ethic. You know, he's a kid that is, once I got hired and they made the announcement, he texted me that same night, "Hey, coach, are we getting in the weight room tomorrow?" "Absolutely, Dean, let's go." I mean, he's a kid that, you know, you say jump, he says how high, and, you know, always delivers. David Davis, another lineman. David is one of those, you know, kids that I think every offensive line, or one of those players, I should say, that every offensive line needs to have. He plays with that mean streak and that, you know, drive to, hey, you're not going to beat me. I don't care how big, how talented you are. I'm going to, you know, work my butt off to make sure that, you know, I'm imposing my will on you, and I'm going to be the reason why we can run the ball, or why Mikael has all day to throw. So the intangibles that David brings, and that's not meant to be a slight towards Dean at all, because Dean's again a phenomenal kid in his own right. But the you know, mean and nasty streak that David plays with is what you like to see out of all your offensive linemen. The other kid, Bobby Melzer, sophomore. Bobby's probably 6'4", 210. You know, good sized kid playing outside linebacker for us. Because of some of the injuries, we've kind of been moving him all over the place offensively, doing some different things. Really happy for him. He scored his first touchdown last week. Probably could have had another one against Talon if he didn't fumble, but you know, great kid. He's one of the kids that after we lost to Lorraine week 1, I don't know if anybody took it as hard as I did, but if there was anybody, it would have been Bobby Melzer, and then the other kid, Thurman Treadwell. Thurman's a senior for us, playing a little bit of tight end, outside linebacker. Thurman's been banged up the last couple of weeks, and is definitely a kid that we notice, when he's not there. It's pretty evident, in my opinion, based on what we're trying to do offensively, defensively, to not have Thurman's presence there. So think he's getting healthy. I think those kids, those names I gave you are definitely in good spots to have a great rest of the year, and along with a lot of other kids as well too.
Okay. So we talked about the tough loss opening week against Lorraine, then you bounced back with the win over Holland and a big 42-21 showing at Kent. What's the goal for the rest of the season besides stay healthy, of course?
Yeah, that's always the goal, to stay healthy, even from the rip. But the goal for us the rest of the season is to continue to get better. That one of the things that when I came in and our staff came in and we've talked about is being accountable, doing what you need to do when you're being where you need to be, when you need to be there, doing your job based on what we're asking you to do, whether that's, being at study tables on time, showing up to practice on time, going and getting treatment when you got these bumps and bruises and things so they don't turn into something worse. Continuing to build on the accountability piece will be huge for us for long-term success here for the rest of this season and many more seasons to come. But with the accountability and improving upon that, I think when the accountability piece comes, and it's coming, but continuing to get better, not having negative days or not having negative plays, to put it in, I guess, football perspective, where, instead of, getting tackled for a 2-yard loss, we need to be 1-yard gain. If we can get 1% better every day, through the course of the year and the course of 4 years that, we'll have these kids here in our program, we can do a lot of special things because we have a lot of very talented kids that are starting to buy in and do what we're asking them to do, which is, again, awesome to see, that.
Good stuff. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to come on with me. I wish you good luck this week against Cloverleaf and the rest of the season. Keep up the great work, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you again at some point this season.
Awesome, Kevin. Well, hey, thanks for the time today. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity for you letting me come on your show and talk about our kids and the cool things our staff's doing. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. I'm happy to have you on.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Kevin.
Have a good night, Joe.
You too. Bye-bye.